wake up the world. Kill the demons by your wings unfurled, or your heart has been hurt. Now listen to the wonderful call. Oh, dreamers, know it's the same. Just be yourself and soon you'll dance in a magical land. Oh, up the world, brandish the sword, say the magic words, time to find a new chord.
That's it. I want to twirl my kilt around. Everybody, you're listening to Big Blend Radio's Toast of the Art Show with Nancy and Lisa, and you just heard Dreamers, the 8th track from Excalibur 4, The Dark Age of the Dragon. It's the 4th new studio album in the songwriter-producer Alan Simon's Celtic rock opera series, and it follows from their gold and platinum selling original trilogy. Wow. Which is amazing, right? And it features members of Jethro Tull, Uriah Heep, Curved Air, like Sonia Christina was just on our show last month. Supertramp, all kinds of amazing talent, but very excited to have Alan on the show today. Welcome, Alan.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, doing wonderful. How are you doing over in France? Thank you for calling in.
Oh, my big pleasure.
It's a beautiful, beautiful album. I feel like when you're listening to the whole thing, you'd go on this journey. It's emotional, but it's uplifting, and there's drama. And man, how long does it take to put something like that together? Because there's so much orchestration and the vocals, and it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, maybe a full life is necessary to do that.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
No, but really more or less 2 years of very intense job with many great musicians. I really enjoy to do it. I love Excalibur. I love this series of albums, really.
Well, that comes through.
Yeah, for sure. The energy it's electric. You know, I know it's a studio album, but it doesn't feel like a studio album. You feel like you're right within the performance and the show. What's it like on tour? Because I know you did this in 2016, and this year I believe you're touring again?
Yes. Well, actually, we did 5 tours since 1999. But, you know, it's a big machine. It's so many people on stage and behind the stage, by the way. But for the 20th birthday of Excalibur, because it would be the 20th birthday in 2019. I have a big dreams to come in America. So with my manager, we spoke with different promoters in America. So if some promoter listen now, please call us. No, we want to join America. I love your country, and I think there is a great audience to share this kind of project.
It's such a beautiful, to me, the story of, I mean, when you get into Merlin, and when Nancy and I are big fans of just the whole story of I think I liked playing Dreamers at the beginning of this because I think there's something magical and mystical, and when you bring these stories to life, whether it's through, a written story, and I know that you're a novelist as well, and a film director, so, songwriter, when you put all of that together, there's this, I think we need this right now. The world feels a little jaded at times, and I think we need to remember to have that hope and that magic fairy dust in there. You've got fairies
true,
too.
True. It's our roots. I'm sorry for my French accent. I'm very French, so I know my English is quite special, but I hope you understood me. So, no, well, really, I live in Brittany, which is the west coast of France. And I am very close to one very famous forest, which one of the main famous forests from Merlin, and it's part of our history in Brittany. And yes, the world need to realize, to not forget its roots, which the nature. Without nature, we are nothing. So, and if you really focus on this legend, you will realize that the quest, the main point on this King Arthur story, on this Merlin story, it's the universe, the harmony between the human and the nature. That's the main point.
And that's so important right now, because we've gone to the brink of how much can we destroy of the earth and still live in it, on it. And be part of it, and we're slowly killing off ourselves. So at some point, it's going to be the creative people who think beyond the normal day-to-day stuff that will solve that problem.
Yeah,
we need people like you.
Okay, thank you. I try my best. I don't think I will save the world, unfortunately. I would be very happy if I can do something. But as a musician, as a songwriter, I just try to offer my best. To create at least some nice music, to make the people sensitive to some questions also through my lyrics. And yes, Excalibur is a strong point. It's a sword of the power, yes, but it's not on this way. It's also the sword of the reunion of the humans. On the one point about something solid, something real, and we need that. Yes.
Yeah, it's very interesting, when I look at your career, which is, everyone, I encourage you to, number one, go get the album. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on iTunes. Again, Excalibur 4, The Dark Age of the Dragon. But if you go to AlanSimonOnline.com, you can go to /ENG for English, HTML. Go on there, and your bio is just, when I read your career, of what you've done, it seems that you work in projects and with a lot of people. It seems to be something that you're really good at, is getting people to unite, whether it's music or a film or like a compilation album, a concept album. I know, looking at the album that you did for the charity dedicated to Earth, Gaia, which you did with you had people like Midnight Oil on there, and Justin Hayward, just looking at those kind of things. And then Excalibur now going, the fourth album, and you're like saying it's going 20 years. Like, I'm feeling younger now, Alan.
It was quite a long journey, because when I started, I was, to be honest, I was 15. So it's a long time ago when I started with my career. And now I'm only 53. It's not so much, I know, but sometimes I feel a bit old, like, oh gosh, because it's not so easy by this day. It's a fact. First of all, I will not speak about the musical industry, which is totally devastated because internet, that's the point, but it's not so important for me. What's quite difficult now it's to make focus the people on something more solid. You understand? The people they jump from something to something in just 1 second like that. It's terrible. It reminded me when I was in America the first time. It's not so long time ago. It was in 2001, I think, in New York. I was on the hotels, and I take the TV command just to watch TV, and I realized, my God, so many channels. How the people they can watch all of this? It's terrible. How they can speak to each other after 200, 300 channels? Well, you understand what I mean.
We understand that. We lived in South Africa for many years, and I know that you did some music as well regarding to South Africa. And over there, I think we didn't even get TV for 20. It didn't even run for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it would divide like 2 or 3 channels at like from 4 in the afternoon, you get to watch it in Xhosa or Zulu or Afrikaans, or then it'll go to English. So you had to schedule when your language was, or if you learned all languages, then you could understand it. And it got, it got a little bit more before we left. And when we got here, we went to Guernsey, so we were near France. We were near you for a little bit, but in the Channel Islands. But we got here, and I remember waking up and turning the TV on, and all these crazy talk shows where people are yelling at each other on. And I remember being I was 19, and I looked at, Nancy, my mom, and I'm like, where did we just move to? I'm scared. I was really scared because everyone was yelling at each other, and we had just left a country in turmoil, where things were happening, and that scared me.
Oh, that's because you saw the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah, that scared me, but it is, I think, when you go to music and you go to a show or you turn on music and you listen to an album like yours, because to me, when I want to play all of it on the show, but I can't have time, but you want to sit and listen.
Great, anyway.
You want to hear the whole thing, and it's an experience, and it's an experience to do away from TV, unless we get to watch your concert on TV. That's different. But, I think we need these breaks where we can go to our senses, and I think that's what your album to me is. It brings us back to our different feelings and senses.
Well, I think it lets you imagine. Like I could totally paint a picture to that song easily. When you're watching television, you're kind of locked into somebody else's thing for a while. But when you're listening to music, you can be free of somebody else's thing, and it lets you do something else.
It's true.
Yeah. I like both. I mean, I like a lot of television, especially movies and documentaries. But there's times when you're just listening, that your mind is free to imagine your own pictures to the music. I like that.
That's definitely your album. Definitely. Alan, tell us a little bit about all the people you worked with, because Sonia Christina, she was on our show in December. And we were talking. She was on our show and talking about her album Anthology, and we played The Passion on there because it's she did such a beautiful version of that, and just so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about getting everyone together. Are they the same people through the years, or have you changed up people?
Well, no. All these people, are very attracted also by this energy, this magic around Excalibur. So all these people came very kindly, and they give their energy, their faith, their love through these songs. But I try always to create songs appropriate to each voice, to each singer. Sonia has a very special voice, for example, very sensitive lady, and I think The Passion is perfect for her. And I'm quite proud to hear that many people enjoy this song. And and when I work with, by example, in the past, I was working with John Anderson from Yes, the singer from Yes. And John, I wrote a song called The Circle of Life, and Circle of Life was really appropriate to his voice. He has such deep voice, but very strong at the same time. And for each singer, it's very important to be at the place of the singers, to think about him, about his way, his approach, his philosophy. It's difficult to pretend to propose a song to someone which will be totally disconnected with the song. It can work, it can be interesting, but it's not so easy. So it's important to feel really the soul of the each person. It's not a free act. It's very important when you wrote a song. It's not only some words. It's not only some music. It's much more than this. It's an act of love on some way. Well, I believe in that.
So this is like casting for a movie, getting the right actor for the right piece.
Absolutely.
That part. Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Why today? By example, I will speak about something which is very famous now. Everyone speaks about Star Wars, but why the first trilogy of Star Wars was so good? Because technology. No. Because they did a big job that was very difficult for them. But because simply these actors, Hamill, Carey, and of course Harrison Ford, were just perfect for that, and it was credible. Every good movie, it works because the people are really credible inside. And when you compose an album from the musician to the studio recording to the voice, every single detail is extremely important, including, of course, the artwork.
And it has to be believable.
Yeah.
And Star Wars was very believable. I mean, it's totally not true. Sorry, guys, but it's not. But it was believable, and I think if you can't, whether it's a book or it's a painting or it's music or it's a film, if it isn't believable, then it's not successful.
Absolutely. And when this crazy teams from California create Star Wars at the beginning, no one was trust. The movie industry say no, thank you very much, no, it's crazy, and they have paid, they have used all their money. It's crazy, but now it's like one of the most biggest successful in the cinema industry, and there is plenty of story like that. When the Beatles start, no one was believing the Beatles, and as you remember, the Beatles came very late in America, very late.
That's true.
To perform.
It's again. I'm glad we played Dreamers at the beginning because I think it's that you've got to stick to who you are as an artist and kind of not listen to the hoopla. You know what I mean? You have to go with the purity of what your creativity is, right? And even if people don't see that vision yet, you as a creative person have to still put it out there, right? Otherwise, artists get miserable, man, if you can't create.
Of course, it's the end for us. But, for me, what is very important also, one point which is very, very important, it's, I don't know how to say it with my great English, it's not so easy for me. It's the credibility, the human credibility. I mean, I don't like at all, I will be honest with you, I don't like at all, I even hate, I'm uncomfortable when I met, and I will not say any names, of course, an artist, famous singer, who pretend to send some great message, some good energy, but in the reality, he is not a nice man. That's what happened to me a few times, and I was very disappointed. What I want to say by that, it's very important to not pretend something, but to be really. And for me, when you are a singer, when you are a songwriter or whatever musician, you really should be what you wrote, what you say, what you send to the audience. It should be really a big part of you. If it's only a business, well, it's not only very sad, but it's very dangerous for our society, for our world, because it means that the world will be fake very quickly. You understand what I mean?
That's why advertising jingles are so lame. Because they're almost like nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
But they're just simple. Go for it, get it done. Because you, as an artist, you're not going to make a jingle. Sorry, people who make jingles, but it's like I mean, when you hear the music to some ads, it's really like, really?
But it's about being authentic and real.
Because I don't think they care about the product.
I think it's about anything you do in business.
Yeah.
Right now,
Absolutely.
I think Nancy and I have been through, between Christmas and now, 3 major corporations that say they're doing this and doing that. The CEOs on TV everywhere saying how they take care of their people, but they don't take care of their clients, and it's absolutely amazing. There's nowhere to go because there are these huge corporations. True. But I wanted to say, because you were talking about being fake, the song "I Will Be Forever," you take that on. It's like, you say this, and that, it's about you're fake and you're not. I'm true, you're not. You know what I mean? It's like gives you that feeling of this is that are you real or not? I'm being real about things. Are you?
Yeah, well, at least to try our best. It's already something. We have to start by that. But about this song, singing by Michael Sadler from Saga. Michael, when I was in contact with him the first time, I think he lives in America, and he called me and he said, "Oh, okay, I may be interesting, but first of all, of course, sing me the songs." And he was very excited by the songs. And then I said to him, "Oh, Michael, you will be happy to join us on tour? We have a big, massive tour on the arenas in Germany during December 2016. It's 14 big show." I said, "Yes, I want to come." So he joined us, but he became very quickly a very, very good friend. He was totally inside the songs, and I was extremely impressed by this man. The coherency between the man and the singer. It's the same person. It's not 2 persons. It's not a businessman and from the music industry and a man. No, it's the same person. And I like that. I need that to go on myself.
He sings from his heart. That's what I'm saying. When you're listening to the song, you're like, "Oh, I feel you. I know how you feel." I'm with you. I know. I've been there. The other song, I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was so interesting. Nancy and I have done, we lived in England, and we've also, we've been around on the Celtic world a little bit with some friends in the Scottish Highland Games and things that happen over here. So there's a lot of Celtic festivals here, and so I'm just saying, everybody out there in that world, hello, Excalibur should be part of that.
Ooh, that's a great
I'm just saying,
idea.
and there's 2 different seasons of Scottish Highland Games and Celtic tour, spring, and then in the fall, in the autumn, there's 2 different seasons of it that happen out in this country, and so I'm just thinking that would be amazing. But the song. And I learned a little bit about this from some friends of ours, Highland Waves, a Celtic band. They're from, he's from Glasgow originally, Brian Caldwell. But the New Times has this Middle Eastern sound to it. And I was like, oh, this is so important because that goes back to the roots of some of the instruments, that Celtic music actually comes from the Middle East, right?
Yeah, it's true. The Celts come, the origin of the Celts is quite interesting because thanks to the archaeology, we know now that the Celts come from part from India and part from not so far from China, and it's different clans which was working together and joined and became only one. Sorry, and since that started 3,000 years ago. It's a long, long story, and the Celts become really a fascinating people. And when Roma was become famous, of course, a huge empire of Roma, they was absolutely, worried about the Celts because they knew that we was a very strong, people. And but it's true. The origin of the Celt is just a fascinating story, and it's very linked with art, with the harmony of the nature. It's a long, long journey. It's a bit difficult to explain you with my great English and we need a lot of times, but
Yeah.
I live in a really pure Celtic land now, still today. Few meters from my house, there is a huge forest, and we trust in the trees. We trust in birds, in everything. It's quite important for us. But we are also modern people. Huh? I have the city very close to me. I love to go in restaurant, in cinema. I don't live in an Indian teepee. But what I mean, I need my land. I need to feel the land.
Yeah.
It's so important, It's so important to be from somewhere. And there is so many people that don't know where they come from now. It's not so easy, when you don't have a family, when you don't have some roots. How you want build yourself? It's difficult. So we are in only one big village. You can call this village the planet Earth. It's like that, and we are closer and closer thanks to the new technology, which damaging on some point, good on other point. We have to find our balance. We are on the way to do it. I think so. It will take a lot of times again. And every country has its part of responsibilities, every culture. And the Celt have an interesting responsibility because the Celt is one of the most ancient people, so, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Well, everybody, when you go and you start to look at everyone's names and you start to find, this is from this clan over here, and you start to see, you start to realize we're all connected in some way. And I find it amazing when you're talking about being from France. A lot of people wouldn't think that, Celtic and France. But listening to you talk about our connection to the earth and nature and humanity, that community, that global village that we are. I would like to sit down when we get to France at some point. I want to sit down with you and our friend Pierre Ben-Susan. He comes on our show. I don't know if you know him, the guitarist.
Yes, I know him. He's a great guitarist. I love this man. I like this man. His music is fantastic. He's a very talented guitarist. Of course, I know since a long time. Yeah.
I just had a feeling. I was like, you both have that same message, and I was like, wow. I wish Pierre was on here to talk. You're both.
Well, I don't know him personally. I never met him. I saw him once on live show. I think it was in Paris, if I remember well. Maybe 20 years ago, so a long time ago. But I still to have some LPs, some vinyls of Pierre. And it's a very talented guy. Yes.
Yeah, no, because whenever we're on the show, it ends up being about whenever he comes on our show, we talk about that connectivity, what you're talking about, that authenticity, that real, that heart, and it's just, as you're talking, I'm like, wow, I want to go to France so we can be like you.
Welcome in France. All America, please come in France. Join us.
Yes, I think everyone can use a little France in their life.
Well, don't go in any place in France. Sorry, don't go in any place. Come in Bretagne. Bretagne is the West Coast. Paris is great. I love to go in Paris. I have some nice place where I go, some nice restaurant, good friends. It's a great cultural life and it's a beautiful city. Yes, it is. But if you take a train from Paris, just 2 hours, and you go in Nantes or in Rennes, which is the most biggest city in Brittany, and then you rent a car and you go in the countryside, you will be stomach. It's just amazing places. And I'm a bit sad that I so many American people coming in France, and they go mainly in Paris or in the south, which is beautiful, of course. They go in Nice, in Cannes, or whatever. But Brittany, the west coast of France, again, it's beautiful. Of course, Americans know mainly Normandy because you was with the Russian, the heroes, the last war. But if you go a little bit down, you have this little place called Bretagne, and you will be surprised.
I love that. I know a lot of our travel writers for the magazine go to the south of France. We've got Bandol and Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, close.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to learn more and more about it. But it just is this. I think it's so refreshing for us to remember about the good qualities of life and that we're here to enjoy it and do good. So I really appreciate that, and then the natural aspect, and it comes through in your music. The other thing I noticed going through the album and just listening and knowing that you have this amazing, cast of musicians, it seems that the different songs that, and I don't have the notes of who did what. I just sat and listened. That's what I do. I just sit and listen. But it seemed that certain songs that I was like, okay, well, this must be this person over here, because it feels like when they're playing that they're allowed to be who they are and their style with the song. You know what I mean? So, whereas the album flows, but each person, you can hear in the guitar work that, okay, this is a little different, like You Don't Know, that song. There's this guitar run, I'm like, okay, like I know that sound. Like there's certain, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You recognize the musicians through
their
signature style, but sometimes with albums like this, people don't allow that to happen, and you do.
Yeah, well, thank you. But it's true that behind myself there is also many great musicians, more or less famous, and some are very famous, some are not, but it's not important for me. I mean, what is important is to get the right musician. And I have a great guitarist called Paolo Ballardini. It's an Italian guy, little fame in Italy, but not so much, but he's just amazing. And I have another great guitarist that everyone knows in America, which is Martin Barr from Ted Fertile.
Yeah.
And Martin and Paolo became huge, good friends during these tours. They never worked before together before that, and now they are very good friends. Well, the magic of Excalibur, it's like a musical round table. So I'm very glad to guest many musicians, many artists around this musical table, round table, say, hey, guys, come on. Now, let's give you best, and yes, come together. Yeah.
That's why I think it flows. The very last song, is it Dun Angus 2? I don't know how to pronounce half of anything.
Yeah, it's correct. Dun Angus.
Yeah. So that song, when I start listening to her voice, and it's like, whoa, it's nice and low. The next thing you know, her voice, and I want to know who's singing this, because this is incredible. I mean, that's like this epic finale, and you're just like, this isn't. I mean, I just where does that power come from? And so beautiful and pure and and
it's
soft
a Spanish
at the
lady.
same time.
A Spanish lady, yes, called Mate It Was. She's part of a duet called Efenthal. His husband is quite famous in Europe because he's one of the singers of the Kelly family. She's amazing. She comes really from classic, as you can imagine, with such a big voice. She has studied classic during a long time. She sang some famous pieces, from the classic side. But she gives a lot of emotion. And it's funny because we finished the show, the live show. The last tour was finished by these songs, by these instrumental songs. And the power of Mate was so huge that I saw every night, including myself, and I was trying to dissimulate that, but I was so many people with some tears because it was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, it's true, yeah.
She's really got an amazing voice. And then you've got There Is Someone, and it seems so young and innocent, that song.
Yes. She's a very pure young lady. His name is Siobhan Owen. She's from Wales. I have a little story about Siobhan because a few years ago I created another rock opera musical about Tristan and Isolde. And I was looking to find I was needed to be Isolde, a very innocent lady with an amazing voice like an angel, but able also to play Celtic harp, and which also should be beautiful ladies. So it's not so simple to find someone, but to find this ideal. And I was looking, and was great ladies, but not an half young, or not an half this voice, and this don't play the harp, or say, oh no, where I will find this pure jewel. And finally on internet, I typed angel voice Celtic harp, just that. And I saw a photo of a beautiful young lady. Say, oh no, she's too beautiful. I'm sure she don't think so well, or something like that. Okay, let's listen. I listened it, and it was like I was just, my God, his voice. And so I immediately sent a little email to this young lady. She did not know me, and she replied to me very, very sweetly, very kindly. She said, "Oh, thank you, sir, but I am in university now, and I live in Australia. It's very far from Europe." And I replied immediately, "Oh, okay, not a problem. I will pay you the flight ticket. Don't worry about this. But please come in studio with me. I want to record you." And she asked the authorization to the teacher and to say yes, and to his parents. But she was only 19. And everyone now loves this lady in Brittany, and I'm proud if I have contributed a little bit to his success. And she's really, I hope the world will discover this artist, because she's a pure jewel, really. Shazana Owen, yes.
Wow, it's so interesting because that you put her. She's so pure. Like I said, this is like you said, a little angel, and then all of a sudden you go that epic, closing, and you're like, wow, it is like this roller coaster. Yet this whole album, but also there. I mean, there were some things that really surprised me too. Behind the Mist. This felt Jethro Tull to me a little bit, and then it's like jazz in there. It's very jazzy and it's bluesy and it's sexy and it's just like, something's going on.
Yeah, well, when you work with such great musicians as Martin Barr from Just Virtual or Johnny Well from Supertramp, just to name these two guys and all my band, you think, oh, okay, I have to create something for them, something which they can express really, the beauty of their instrument. So to leave space, not only singers, but so that's why I create this piece, Behind the Mist. And I say to them, okay, now from bar 24 to bar 48, John, you have wild card. Please, be in. And the guys played inside. So it was more the mood of the collaboration. And we have enjoyed to do that, yes.
I love that. I love that song. It's I don't know, you've got a little bit of everything, even though it's Celtic, but again, it's like one of the most ancient civilizations in the world. Everybody's part of that. It's, until you get here and you have the Native American culture, and that's a little different too. And I'd love to see someone put the two together, because some of the rhythms, some of the drumming rhythms are very similar.
You're right.
I was just thinking that,
True.
Would you, if you had a choice and you were interested in doing something really different now from what you've been doing, would you consider doing like a rock opera about space, although in a way that's already right there for you, or a Western, like a cowboy and Indian thing? That'd be really interesting.
Well, it's difficult. I would like to do the both.
Okay, cool.
Well, no, I like, what you said before. It's a great idea. I think between the native Indian and Celtic, there is many bridge. So there is for sure a great concept album to do around this. Oh, it's a good idea. I stole your idea now. I noticed on paper.
Wow.
Oh,
cool.
I would be happy to. This is a very strong idea, strong concept. Yeah.
Okay, before you go, because I know you're over in France there, but and we have to play more music. But you worked with Jeremy Spencer, and I'm a big fan of old school Fleetwood Mac, the original days where Peter Green was part of it, and Mick Fleetwood, and John Mayall, and to me there's just this. I think the band transformed in so many ways, and it's different. It's not better or worse or anything like that, but the very beginning, and Jeremy Spencer is like, what happened to him? And then I saw that you worked with him, and that's so exciting because I think he's a brilliant guitarist.
Yeah, he's not only a brilliant guitarist; he's also a brilliant singer. I did a concert. I did a concert 2 years ago in my town in Nantes, in Brittany, when when it was an earthquake in Nepal, in Himalaya. With 10,000 people died. You remember probably in April.
Yeah.
Was very damaging. So we did a support concert. And I did few tracks of Excalibur, and I called Jeremy, and I said, hey, Jeremy, you are in England now, no? So could you join me and play few old numbers of Fleetwood Mac, some bluesy stuff with me? I will play the harmonica, you will be on guitars, and he was a bit scary. He said, no, I can't do that. I say, yes, you do, because you still play so well, and you sing well. Please join. So finally he came, and it was 2,000 people there. It was full, and people was really stomach. It was a big silence when he was growing, give his feels was really great. And he's a very solid artist. And because you spoke also about Fleetwood Mac, I have worked a little bit with Mick Fleetwood.
Awesome.
And we did some stuff on Gaia and on Excalibur 3. And Mick is an amazing guy, so fun, so inside, always smiling, and he's a super drummer. And everyone spoke a lot about Linsley, about Stevie, which two amazing artists. Of course they are just great, but they forget sometimes, for me, too much Mick Fleetwood. He's really a big spirit of Fleetwood Mac, with John McVie, of course.
Oh yeah, John McVie too is like one of the best bass players, but Mick Fleetwood, I'm a huge fan of his because he brings in world music, and he doesn't just stick with the typical, here's my drumstick, I'm going to play with a gong, I'm going to play with African drums, and I think you're absolutely right. I think he's underappreciated because I know Paul Simon went to Africa, and but really Mick Fleetwood did that years ago, and he's like the Ry Cooder of drums. Like Ry Cooder went around the world in Cuba and all these places, but Mick Fleetwood did the same thing. I wish the two of them would work together, actually. I know that Ry Cooder's son is an incredible drummer too, percussion player, but if Mick Fleetwood went to Cuba, he went everywhere, bringing in these sounds and trying to get people to understand the different rhythms of the world and how we're all united in that too. And nobody talks about that ever. I'm so glad you brought that up.
It's true. And in plus, he's not an egocentric guy. He's a lovely man, very simple, very gentle, always friendly, a good comrade. And yes, I like this man. From time to time we exchange some email. I hope to see him again in America the next time. But yeah, lovely.
If you see him, you give him a hug from me because I think he rocks. He does.
I will. I will.
Alan, thank you so much for joining us, and
we
want you here. We want you here in America, and if not, we'll come to France.
I promise to you, I will come soon in America. I have some projects in America, so I hope to be very, very soon. And I love your great country, so please give you all your best. You have a big role to do now in the world, as you know. We need everyone, and we need your good energy, and music is one of the key.
Yeah, thank you for that. Sure. And everyone, again, we're going to play The New Times because I feel like it's kind of our conversation of unity, and I think we should play that. The New Times, but everyone, again, the album is Excalibur 4, The Dark Age of the Dragon. We all like dragons. And go get it on Amazon, iTunes, but also go to AlanSimonOnline.com. Thank you so much, Alan. You take care.
Oh, thank you very much. Much love to all of you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. May it be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Here it is, everybody, The New Times, because this is just amazing. Just listen and enjoy.
Surprise, I can feel the sunrise in your heart. nothing low, nothing sad, nothing will divide. I believe you can change in your mind. There will be a new world, new mankind. I believe you can change in your mind. There will be a new world, new mankind. I believe you can change in your mind. There will be a new world, new mankind. I believe you can change in your mind. There will be a new world, new mankind.